Hi, with Mother's Day around the corner, I'm doing this video to celebrate mothers who are parenting special needs kids. And with special needs, I don't necessarily mean kids with disabilities, for I know that there are mothers out there who are having children who are terminally ill. Maybe kuna mtoto ako na cancer, maybe you got a baby who has a heart condition, and you are always in and out of hospital, and all these conditions, you're just a special mother. And generally speaking, we know that motherhood is not an easy task, and so many times stay-at-home mothers are overlooked. People think you're just down there and you're not worthy any recognition. But we know that motherhood is the greatest job, if anybody would care to recognize that. And I felt the need to just highlight some of the things that mothers with special needs kids go through. And when God put me in that category, because I have my firstborn child who is a special child with autism, I know it's not by mistake. I know there is a ministry that God has put in me through this journey, and there are many people out there who need people like me to speak up, to speak out, to do advocacy and awareness and encouragement and inspiration. And I accepted this, and the Lord has given me sufficient grace. And so I want people to understand that when any mother is carrying a pregnancy, or when you go to a maternity, you expect and you hope to deliver a healthy baby. Every mother is full of dreams for their child. We always dream of what our children will become, what a great footballer he or she may turn out to be, how they will go to good schools and all that. But the moment you are told your child is different, my child has autism. Autism is what we call the neurological disorder, whereby your child doesn't function like other children. Your child doesn't even feel stuff like other kids. And so essentially this means there are things your child may never achieve. Yes, there are things your child may never achieve. We know that autism comes with developmental delays, not only autism but also cerebral palsy, because our children tend to have those delays in developmental stuff. Like they may not walk early enough, they may not talk well enough, or even talk at all. And so it breaks your heart. You actually go through a process of grief. You grieve. Why? Because you're actually being told that the dreams you had for this child may never come true, may never come to pass. This child may never get married, because we are talking of a child. Maybe she's not gonna talk at all throughout her life. There are things she will never do like normal kids. And so it means that our children, most of them, may never get married, may never get to go to those high school and university. And I know every case is different, but I'm just saying that as a mother, when you are told that your child is different, it means so much than any other parent out there may ever understand. And there are things we take for granted. But the moment God gives you this kind of a situation, you start appreciating very minor details about life. For so long, now for the 5 years I have parented my daughter, I have become a very grateful person. I have learned to be grateful for the very small milestones of life that a child achieves. Imagine having a child who could not walk for 3 years, and then you see children being born after her, and they are walking, they are talking, they are playing with other kids, and your child is doing none of that. The moment that child will walk, whether they will walk at 5 or 7 years or whatever, you will celebrate like they have won a Grammy award. So for us with special kids, we have become more grateful. We have stopped taking things for granted. When my daughter is now saying a few words, when my daughter is now communicating her needs to go to the toilet, I know she's 5 years. Of course, it's nothing. It's not a big deal, because children as young as 1.5 years can use potty. But for us children, our children, because they are special, these things happen later in life or never at all. So when our children start doing those small things that they should have done years ago, we celebrate. We feel so grateful to God, and it changes your heart a lot. It changes you as a mother. You stop looking at life with bare eyes. There are things now I look at differently. We learn to look at beauty differently. And I know there are people out there who always floss their beautiful kids on social media, and you're always posting photos. And a lot of parents who have special needs kids, they don't even afford to post their kids. And I know I cannot blame them. I cannot judge them, because it's not an easy thing. When your child is different, these children have so many, as I said, they have developmental issues, and they also have also physically they have a lot of deficiencies. Utapata mtoto, maybe if the child has cerebral palsy, for instance, it means kuna some of the limbs in her body or in his body are not okay. And so as a mother, you may feel ashamed to post that photo or to brag about your child, to even celebrate her birthday on social media. And then you're seeing all the time other mothers celebrating their kids. Today is a day out with our baby and all that. And your heart is always grieving and feeling, you actually withdraw from other things that people do. And for me, I chose to come out. I chose to just come out in the open, bring my daughter to the world, and I am not ashamed of posting her. I am not ashamed of doing videos with her, because I have learned that beauty is not only what we can see with bare eyes. There is more to beauty, that our heart is able to feel beauty that eyes cannot see. And so I want always to encourage parents with special needs kids. Brag with your child, delight in that child, delight with him or her, get to their level and do those childish or silly stuff that they are seen to be doing. Because this is a child that God gave you. You cannot throw away that child. You cannot run away. The world may just turn their back on your child, but you as the mother, you're there to stay. Your child is there with you forever. So you better own this child, accept what it is, and ask God for the grace to just walk this journey with a lot of grace and joy in the heart, because it is the Lord who gives you joy in the heart. And I'm not saying it's wrong to feel bad, to feel lost. It's a stage. There's a stage that you go through. You grieve, you ask questions, you try to bargain with God, you ask, why me? And you feel even guilty. What did I do wrong? What should I have done differently? And after all that has passed, you come to the point of acceptance. And for me, when I reached that point, I also got new strength to just talk about this, to tell the world that there are parents out there who have different days and nights, for that matter. There is a parent who cannot go to work because the child they are mothering needs them 24/7. For instance, kuna watoto wako na epilepsy. Those kids are always falling. They are always hitting their heads and falling, and the episodes keep coming anytime. And sometimes when you entrust this child with another person, you cannot settle in your heart, because you feel maybe they will forget about the child, and this child will fall on the fire or in water. And so many parents with special needs quit their jobs long ago. You employ house girls, they can't stay more than 2 months, they get tired, because it is just special grace that God gives people to look after children with special needs, and not just anybody who can take care of these children. Unaona mtoto wa 6 years bado ni wa kupanguzwa mapupu. There are not many people who will have that heart. So unajipatanga, you can no longer be employed because your child needs you so much. Your child is maybe sick. The way I'm saying, kuna watoto wako na cancer, kuna mtoto ako hospital in and out. And as a parent, you just choose to quit work, because you cannot be asking for permission every now and then to take your child for checkups, for therapies, for what. So most of these mothers are actually doing so badly financially, because you are not as empowered as other mothers. You don't have the same opportunity or the same privilege to work. And so most of these mothers rely on handouts and support from well-wishers. I know there is that fund by the government that is supposed to be coming to kids with special needs, but I doubt how many people receive it. Personally, I've never received it, but it's okay, because the Lord meets my needs. But think of another mother who cannot afford to meet her daily needs. She has this special child, and other than this special child, akona watoto wengine, because sometimes you get a special child after you got other good kids. And so you find you're a mother of 4 and your last born akona autism. These parents have so much to handle, because if you have 4 kids and one child is sick or needs you constantly, then who is footing your bills? How are you managing to do those financial stuff? Another thing is when these mothers are actually abandoned by family members, by relatives, by husbands. I can tell you for sure that many kids with special needs have no fathers, because their fathers fled long ago. Many men cannot be big-hearted enough to just say, this is our child, akona autism, akona CP, but I'll stand by you. A lot of fathers choose to flee. And so utapata most of these mothers wako single mothers. Ama even you're fukuzwad by the relatives where you had gotten married, and you're stigmatized and you're called names and you're fukuzwad with your child, and you're just left to your own device. But the Lord is good because he sustains those people. He sees us through. And when you think of what you can do as a mother who is now not in this category, or even, you may be just someone watching this and you may wonder, how can I actually assist? How can I make a difference? Maybe there's a mother in your village, in your estate, and you have seen the struggles they go through. Maybe mtoto wake haezi achwa na anyone. So this mother is always carrying the baby around or sitting with her at home. You can always offer volunteer services, volunteer to be kind, volunteer to do shopping for them. Pray with them, go spend time with them, because even that moral support is very necessary. When you feel that people are actually empathizing with you and coming to your level to spend those nasty days with you, sometimes you're just so stressed up because this child, watoto wanakuanga na those days when it's just bad. Kuna wakati mtoto hata lala and you have spent the whole day with them screaming and running around. Some of them even hit their heads and they injure other kids. And as a mother, it's not an easy thing to watch your child suffering like this and even inflicting suffering, even maybe on the other siblings. And sometimes there is even that need you need to balance between this one child and your other kids. And you are not able to balance because you're always giving so much energy and so much of your time to this child, such that even your other children may feel rejected or neglected. And so utapata mama akona so much to deal with financially, emotionally, spiritually, and physically too. You're just worn out. And if someone can just offer to come spend days with you, even help you wash clothes or wash dishes or cook for your family, it'll make a difference. And when we are out there in maybe the supermarket and our kids are behaving funny, and sometimes people just stare at you. I keep saying stigma is not only when people talk, it is also when people give you those funny looks and they are pinching each other, calling attention to your child. You feel stigmatized because many people don't actually understand. Mtu anakuangalianga first of all judgmentally, like siyakam huyu mtoto down. Our kids cannot be calmed down all the time. Sometimes they just have those tantrum episodes, and this child will just throw a tantrum. They don't care whether you're in a wedding or in a church, and they just scream and just ruin the party for everyone. And people look at you like, see, you do something. And as a mother, you hurt. You feel lost and confused and angry and every other bad feeling that is out there. And if people can just offer to be kind, like people can even come and tell you, we understand you, mom. Like, mtu atakusaidia like to carry your bag and to go out with your child, instead of giving you those funny looks and people are like, pona ule mtoto wake. It never feels good. Teach your children to love our children. In school, in churches, in the estate, let kids who are normal, who are okay, know that there are other kids who are not okay like them. Teach them to have empathy. Teach your child to offer a helping hand when they see children like this, instead of laughing, because kids do what adults teach them to do. When my daughter was around 4 years, I think 3.5, and then she had joined a special school, and sometimes when I was going to pick her up, because she had just learned to walk, she was not very strong. Her bones were not so strong because she had also those years where she was refusing food, and so she was a very weak girl, and she took so long to walk. She walked at almost 3 years, and now when I would go to pick her up from school, her posture was just because now she didn't have balance, and she didn't have that body strength to like walk like a normal child. But now, because she has started walking, we needed to exercise her so that her motor skills can improve, and also she can now learn to walk on her own. And so I would hold her hands and we are walking home. Around the same time, kuna shule sasa ziko around there which are regular schools, and they have these normal kids coming out of school the same time, and I would see kids laughing at us, like telling other kids, kanatembea aje. And I would call these children and tell them, this child is not okay. This child is not like you, because you can feel angry as a mother and defensive, but these children don't know. It's ignorance and naivety. And I would have a conversation with them and tell them, this child hayuko sawa, na ukiona mtoto kama huyu usimchekele. Let the children know that there are kids out there who are different, who behave differently. And as adults, we have that role too, because even you may be having 3 kids so far who are good, And maybe later in your life, there may come a child who is special in your generation. You need to be prepared that anything, we think that bad things, tough situations do not come to us, zinapatanga watu wengine. And I know that some of these videos just go, people skip them because we are like, autism, me autism haini affect. Cancer, what is cancer? There's no one in my life akona cancer, I don't need to hear this. Epilepsy, because as human beings we tend to think bad things happen to other people but not to me. But when we learn to know that this is life, it has no guarantees. Tomorrow, something that has begotten your neighbor can get to you. And so let us learn to empathize, to put ourselves in someone else's shoe and ask, how are they coping? How is she managing? How can I help? How can I be kind? How can I extend a helping hand? We shall make the world a very good place for everybody. As we look forward to celebrating Mother's Day, and I know we shall celebrate our mothers with all those messages on Facebook and Twitter and everything. Can we do this, just a special one this day, this time, and just reach out to some mother who has a special needs child or a sick child, some mother that they are struggling with some illness or a condition that their children has been through over and over again. Reach out, help in whichever way you can, support them, show them appreciation, celebrate them. And the Lord will bless us, and life will become better and better and easier, especially for us mothers with special kids, if the society would open their hands and their hearts to us all. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe. Before I finish, I have recorded a new song that I'm releasing soon. In the next couple of weeks, my country song. I know people know that I'm a country singer, and people think I quit country because I'm not released anything of late. But I'm back with a bang. I have a new song that I've written about autism for my daughter and other parents like me, and it shall be out soon. So remember to subscribe, share, invite your friends to subscribe to us, and remember to always pray for us and send us words of encouragement. I'm so grateful that you have watched to the end.